share more information with you guys about federal grants. So, where would you find federal grants? The main website to find federal grants, in case you didn't know, is grants.gov. Okay. Grants.gov is the main website to find federal grant opportunities. You can also go to the specific federal agency website that your organization's services may be funded under. So, for example, if I have a health and human service related program and it's related to children and or families and delivering services to them, then perhaps I would go to this website that you see here, ACF. Listen, we know that the federal government loves acronyms, right? So does the grant world. We love acronyms. So ACF is the Administration for Children and Families, okay? And it's under HHS, which is the Department of Health and Human Services. So you would only know that by going on to grants.gov, and they would show you a listing of various different departments within the federal government. And inherently, by the name, you might be able to identify where your organization might be able to find grants. So, for example, the Department of Education, that would probably lead you to know that there are grants within that agency that are given out for educational purposes. Anything that's dealing with K through 12 education, maybe higher learning education or post-secondary education, also tutoring programs, maybe mentoring programs as well, funded under those, that department. Perhaps we had someone on here who shared that they are in a workforce development service arena and have a post-secondary school to provide education to adults through a print school. So perhaps the Department of Labor might have grants at the federal level to fund that type of activity or service, okay? I'm emphasizing activities and services, you guys, because grants fund specific activities, services, programs, facilities, even construction, okay, buildings, maybe to construct a facility and or building, like affordable housing. And when I think about housing, if I'm looking at the federal level, there's an agency that's called HUD, right? The Department of Housing and Urban Development. So this is how you begin to know, where can I find grants for my specific service or program, okay? Also, here in my state, well, every state has 2 senators, okay? Every state has 2 senators, and your state also has congresspersons, okay? Congresspeople, whatever. I don't want to say congressman because it may be a woman, right? So your state has federal representatives, senators, and congresspeople, and their offices may also provide assistance with helping you to identify federal grant opportunities at no cost to you. Well, it is a cost to you, but you already paid it through your tax dollars, okay? So you might as well leverage and access that service and utilize them. Contact your federal representatives and say, introduce yourself. Hey, or maybe send them an email if it's not a phone call, and say, this is our nonprofit organization, or this is my small business. This is the type of service that we provide, or the type of product that we sell, and we're looking for federal grant opportunities. And those representatives there, they have constituent service representatives that their offices may be able to point you in the right direction for federal grant opportunities, okay? Also, I already shared with you here in our state in Nevada, we have OFA, the Office of Federal Assistance. Perhaps in your state, if you're in a different state like Texas, Florida, California, then they may have a like office that you can contact and they could help you to identify those opportunities as well. Okay. This is just a screenshot here of what the grants.gov website looks like. I'm going to try to zoom in so you guys can see it. You see here on the grants.gov website over here to the upper right-hand corner, there is a register and log in. So this is a site that if you want to apply for a federal grant opportunity, you need to be registered with this site. Now you can go on here and search without having an account. You can come here. It is a free website. Your taxpayer dollars pay for it at the federal level. And you see here where it has like a keyword search. You could search keywords. So let's say you were looking for a mentoring grant. You could type in mentoring here in this keyword search. If your program targets youth, you could type in youth here. And then over to the right, this is where they would, it would, I don't want to say spit out the results, but it would show the results. It would show the results for those specific grant opportunities. So this particular search, for example, if people are interested in counseling training programs, you see, I must have taken this screenshot in 2023 because they're advertising fiscal year 2023 opportunities. But you will see here that it will come up with an opportunity number and then the title. And by the title of the grant, that's how you would be able to determine if it might be the right opportunity for your organization. But you could click on this blue hyperlink and it would take you so that you can read more about that specific opportunity. I don't know if you guys can also see this, but here it says agency. And you see it's telling you the type of agency or HUD. For example, here is the federal agency that's responsible for these grants. You see VA, that's Veteran Affairs. So this is a grant related to veterans. And so you would be able to know if this is an opportunity for you. It shows you the post date, and then it also shows you when the grant close date is. That means when is the grant due? This is, when it comes to federal grants, it's not something that you want to do last minute. You don't want to apply for a federal grant last minute. So if you are interested in a federal grant opportunity, I encourage you to go to grants.gov and register for their website. I'm just showing you here that your congressperson's office may have grant information. This is Catherine Cortez Masto's website here, and they have some information about grants request. That's here in my state. Your state will be different if you are in a different state. Again, I'm just showing you here. Remember, I said if it's a program related to children and families, perhaps you could go on the website for the Administration for Children and Families and look, they have a grants tab here. And they are reminding you that you need what's called a UEI, or a unique entity identifier number, to be able to apply for federal grants. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about state grants. So where might I find state grant opportunities? There are various departments within the state, but let's just say for the sake of this example, you're interested in Health and Human Service opportunities. Then the Department of Health and Human Services has a grants management unit in my state, and I might go to their website to be able to learn about grant opportunities that they have. Your Attorney General's office in your state might also give out grants. Oftentimes, the type of grants that they give out are also health and human service related grants. They may be related to domestic violence. I've seen some human trafficking grants come out of the Attorney General's office, grants related to the Department of Justice or services offered that are related to that. Perhaps youth diversion programs, meaning that for youth that may be involved in the juvenile justice system, perhaps they want to divert those youth from spending time in detention centers, in jails, and or prisons. And so those type of grants may be administered from the Attorney General's office. Also, Department of Education, I kind of brought that up. They have a grants management unit here in my state. And so I would, if I were interested in those types of grants, I could visit their website and their grant home to be able to find out more about those grant opportunities. Any questions so far on either federal or state grants before I go on?
Just a question here. This is John with Vegas
Yeah, hey
Prep
there.
School.
Mhm.
Hi. You said the state grant. That's where I would go for. You call it the Department of Labor to apply.
So I would look at so on the federal level, you could look at the Department of Labor. On the
Mm-hmm.
state level, you would more than likely look within DETR, the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're similar in scope, but at the different levels, federal versus state, the offices or the departments may be called or named a little something different. And then from state to state, those agencies or departments may be called something different as well.
Okay.
Okay. And we do offer grant search services, John. So if at any time, if you're wanting to talk to us a little bit more about how we can help you to identify appropriate grants for the print school, then we're happy to do that offline as well. Okay.
Yes. No, that'll be happening. That'll be
Yeah.
happening.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys here at the state level in my state in Nevada what our grants management unit websites may look like, or with the Attorney General's office and how they're advertising opportunities for grants. You see here, this was a grant for overdose detection and mapping. It was a statewide expansion, probably to reduce and most likely to reduce overdose of opioids or some other substances within our state. You see here this website with the state of Nevada, the Department of Education. They listed several different grant opportunities. I'm going to try to increase this a little bit so you guys can see it. You see here there was grants for literacy programs, for restorative justice programs, as well as bullying prevention training. So you just have to become aware of where to look for the opportunities so you can find them. Okay, I'm going to jump here now to county grants. So my county where I live is Clark County, Nevada. Your county, of course, wherever you live, if you're in a different state, will be different. But your county may offer grant opportunities as well. And so here in Clark County, Nevada, we have a couple of different grant opportunities that they show on their website. There is the Community Development Block Grant, an Emergency Solutions Grant, which I think helps to fund emergency shelter and food as well. There's a Home Investment Partnership. I think that's a grant related to building affordable housing. There's a Justice Assistance Grant, or JAG. That is another type of diversion program or a program to service youth and or their families that are engaged in the juvenile justice system. And then the outside agency grant is a grant that is, it goes to fund various other health and human service related programs or community engagement programs here in Clark County. So they often will release these grant opportunities at different times throughout the year. And so it would be wise for you to go onto your county's website, look at the various types of grants that they offer, what types of programs and services they fund, and then find out when is the opening date for those grant opportunities, because all grants are not open all year round. They may have a specific application period. They may also, or you may want to become familiar with the criteria that's required to apply for the grant to make sure that you can be eligible when the opening period is. And then you want to know about the minimum and the maximums that you can apply for those grants. So the level, the amount that they'll fund, okay?